Hi, Jim Nelson here. I'm all excited. Today is the beginning of our new series based on my published book, Pathway to Discovering Your Purpose in Life by Jim Nelson. This episode is for everyone: teenagers, young adults, parents, and well-meaning adults who would have the opportunity to discover their purpose and support young people in their journey to growth and maturity, so that knowing their purpose, they can live life to the full. Chapter 1 talks about the definition of purpose. Collins Dictionary defines purpose as the reason for which something was created, the reason for which something was made, the reason for which something exists. Just analyzing that definition tells us the English writers who wrote the dictionary do understand that things exist, things were made, things were created. If things were created, that means there is a creator. If things were made, that means there is a maker who gives purpose to everything that was created or made. Nothing exists by accident. Nothing exists by accident. Let's draw some examples from our natural environment. The water, we have seas, lakes, oceans. Water has a purpose. Science tells us that the human body is made up of about 60% water. And the water in our body services the vital organs, the cells in our body. The water in our body regulates our body temperature. Water has a purpose, and it is serving that purpose in our lives in every moment of our existence. As well as other creatures, they benefit from the existence of water. Another example that makes sense is trees. You have trees everywhere across the globe. Of course, we have deserts and other dry places, but majorly we have trees across the world. There are organizations that specialize in planting trees. There are other organizations that take the responsibility to protect trees so that they are not cut down at random. Trees have relevance. Tree people that hug has a lot of definition about the purpose of trees. Trees, science tells us, trees absorb CO2 from the atmosphere and in turn releases oxygen into the atmosphere, and we humans breathe oxygen and other living creatures, and that's why we are alive. So tree has a purpose, and it is fulfilling its purpose given to it by the maker, by the creator of all things, Almighty God. To draw a scriptural reference, I did mention that in my introduction. We are going to draw scriptural principles to buttress our educative minds and the reasons of our discussions. In Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 in the Holy Bible, there was a word that was released to Jeremiah, a human being like you and I. And the word says, before Jeremiah was formed in his mother's womb, God knew him. And God called him. And further says, he called him to be a prophet to the nations. That is a revealing of purpose. Water has purpose. Trees have purpose. Other creatures have purposes. Humans have purpose. For Jeremiah, God's purpose for him was to grow up, become an adult, and fulfill a role of a prophet to the nations of the world. That was his purpose, main purpose. For you, what's your purpose? Have you thought about that? Just like Jeremiah, God has a purpose for you. That's why we are embarking on this journey to educate and inform so that everyone can get to be enriched with knowledge and information to empower you to discover your purpose so that you can start living your life focusing on your purpose to fulfill it while you yet live. I will round it up here for this first episode. Reflect on the information shared. Until next broadcast, stay safe and God bless.